Hi guys, thanks for checking out another video. In this video, as you can see, her hair is very matted and very tangled. I'm going to walk you through how I detangle and style her hair. She had flat twists in the front and ponytails in the back, and all I did was untwist the twists and separate her hair into large sections. Depending on the thickness of your hair, you separate those sections into subsections, as I have here. Her hair tangles and mats more at the root and at the end. She has very coily hair, but she sweats a lot in her hair, so her hair mats very easily in the root. And all I'm doing is squeezing my detangler onto her hair with the pads of my fingers. I am pushing it in to make it penetrate faster, and it's very important that you coat every strand of hair. And what I'm doing is I'm pushing it in to make it penetrate her hair faster. Once I feel like it's penetrated, I'll take a wide tooth comb, which is very important. Even if your hair is fairly thin or fine, you always start your detangling process with a wide tooth comb. Now, once you feel as if you detangled the section, use a smaller comb. But here, I ran into a knot, and all I do is focus on that knot until I have it completely detangled, and then I'll comb through her hair, and then I'll clip that section out of the way. I'm going to repeat the section again. Notice I'm not taking huge chunks of hair. Again, spraying it with water just to lightly mist it, just to make the hair a little looser, a little more pliable. With the pads of my fingers, squeezing the detangler in her hair, pushing it in her hair to have her hair, for it to penetrate her hair quickly. And when I pick along the root of her hair, it's to help the detangler to loosen up the gunk, because again, like I said, she sweats a lot in the root of her hair, and her hair mats at the root very easily. So after I've detangled that entire section, it's very important to twist that section of hair or braid that section of hair. It's very important because by the time you make it to the front, the back of your hair has already retangled again, especially if your hair is extremely coily like hers. As you can see, dirt and gunk and all kind of stuff in her hair, and the detangler helps to break that down quickly. And let me just say, guys, I created a detangler. A detangler was more important to me because I noticed a never-ending cycle. I would comb my daughter's hair or braid her hair, and it would grow, but I didn't have the right detangler for her hair type to detangle it. And what I'm showing you here, you guys, is it's very important that the detangler coats every strand of hair. When you open the hair, you should see white cream, not, it should look like that. You shouldn't see your hair so much. It should be white cream. So that ensures that the hair is properly coated. That's very important in your detangling process. Because if it isn't, your hair isn't coated, it doesn't have that glide and slip, you're more likely to pull out hair. Now, as I was saying before, detangling to me was very important because I would braid my daughter's hair. She and another daughter. Well, I have 4 daughters, but I would notice that I would braid their hair. Their hair would grow nice, but in the detangling process of when I take their hair down, they would lose a lot more hair than I was comfortable with. Now you have to know what is sufficient or what is okay in terms of shed hairs when you take your hair down. Every person is different. But I noticed that theirs was becoming a more excessive amount because their hair was starting to mat and tangle, and their hair wasn't even up long. But I noticed that when I created this detangler, they shed a lot less hair. They lost a lot less hair in the detangling process, which aided in them retaining length, which they could see. Like my daughter noticed, like, oh my God, my hair is growing very well. Well, her hair was always growing, but because you're in this never-ending cycle, you wasn't able to see the length. So that's one of the things, that was one of my goals in creating this detangler, is to make it easier to detangle your hair, especially for my daughters. Two of my daughters are extremely tender-headed, or whichever one it is. Whichever one it is, they both of them, because it's that bad. But it made the process so much easier. There was a time she wouldn't be able to sit here and get her hair combed and be this calm. She would rather wear her hair to school in a mess than to go through the process of getting her hair combed. And I didn't want her to feel that way. As you can see here from her body language, she's calm, she's talking. As a matter of fact, she's telling me how she want her hair done. But it makes my heart feel good to know that the bond that I could share with her in doing her hair, that's a time that we spent together. It wasn't like that at first. It was just, let me get through this process, because I know it's not pleasant for her. So it wasn't pleasant for me because I didn't want to see her in that pain. But this, it helped to eliminate all of that. Even my older daughter, she told me, she said, Mom, you notice I don't cry when you detangle my hair anymore? And it shocked me because she realized that I was doing something different with her hair. And that's what told me that I was on the right track with what I had. That solidified it with me. That made me feel like, okay, this is what you needed to do. Now, I've detangled this section of her hair. Now I'm going to detangle the other section of her hair. And all I'm going to do is leave it twisted like this, and I'm going to shampoo it, and I'm going to use this same detangler as a conditioner. I'm going to sit her under the dryer for 15 minutes, a hooded dryer, and then I blow dried her hair. So now what I'm doing is I'm styling her hair, and I'm using my moisturizing styling aid. Now this styling aid is different because it fights frizz. It has a light to medium hold, but it's a moisturizer. Her hair does not and will not feel greasy, although it's a moisturizer. As you can see, as much as I've put on her hair right now, her hair doesn't look greasy. And once it dries, you'll be able to see that her hair doesn't look greasy. It's moisturized. All I did was roll her hair with the moisturizer and let it dry overnight. And these were the results that we achieved. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, leave them below, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Bye, guys.